Welcome back to Carrick United Analysis, the channel every true red trusts for honest and simple breakdowns of everything happening at Manchester United. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now, because this community is built for fans who want the real story, explained clearly, without confusion, and without unnecessary drama. Today we have something huge to talk about. Our captain, Bruno Fernandes, has come out and made a statement that has already got fans talking everywhere. He spoke about Carlos Baleba, he spoke about the pain of losing early in the season, and he made a bold promise to every single United fan. This is not a small update. This is captain talk, and when a captain speaks like this, we need to break it down word by word. So sit back, get comfortable, and let us go through everything Bruno said together. Why a captain's words carry so much weight. Before we dive into the details, let us talk about why this statement matters so much. A captain is not just a player wearing an armband. A captain is the voice of the dressing room. When a captain speaks publicly, he is not only speaking for himself, he is often speaking for the entire squad. Bruno Fernandes has worn that armband with pride, and every time he speaks to the media, fans listen closely. Why? Because his words often tell us what is really happening behind the scenes, things we as fans cannot see from the stands or from our television screens. This time, Bruno touched on two very different topics. First, he praised a player who is not even at our club yet, Carlos Baleba. Second, he addressed the pain of an early season loss, and he made a direct promise to the fans about titles and silverware. Let us break both of these down properly, because there is a lot to unpack here. Bruno, on Carlos Baleba, what did he actually say? Bruno started by reminding everyone of his role. He said, as captain, he always keeps an eye on the top talent in the league. This is an important detail. It tells us that Bruno is not just focused on his own game, he is watching the wider league, studying opponents, and paying attention to players who could make a difference for United in the future. Then he said something that will excite every single United fan. He called Carlos Baleba an exceptional player. Think about that word for a second. Exceptional. That is not a word players use lightly. Exceptional means outstanding, rare, a cut above the rest. When a player of Bruno's quality, a Champions League level midfielder himself, uses that word to describe someone else, it tells you everything you need to know about how highly he rates this player. Who is Carlos Baleba? For fans who may not follow every midfielder in the league closely, let us paint a clear picture. Baleba has built a reputation as a top-class defensive midfielder. Bruno himself described him with three simple words: strong, intelligent, and incredibly composed under pressure. Let us look at each of those qualities one by one, because they matter a lot in modern football. Strong. In today's Premier League, physical strength in midfield is not a bonus. It is a requirement. Games are faster, more physical, and more demanding than ever before. A midfielder who can win physical battles gives his team control and protection. Intelligent. This is a word that goes beyond just running and tackling. Intelligence in midfield means reading the game before it happens. It means knowing when to press, when to hold position, when to intercept a pass before it is even played. Intelligent midfielders make the players around them look better because they are always in the right place at the right time. Composed under pressure. This might be the most important quality of all. Football is a game of pressure moments. A midfielder who panics under pressure gives the ball away in dangerous areas. A midfielder who stays composed under pressure protects his team and turns defense into attack. Bruno is telling us that Baleba does not crack when the heat is on. Put those three qualities together, strong, intelligent, and composed, and you understand exactly why Bruno rates him so highly. The big line, he deserves to wear the Manchester United shirt. Now here comes the statement that will really get fans talking. Bruno said Baleba has all the qualities and the exact profile of a player who deserves to wear the Manchester United shirt and perform on the biggest stages. Let us slow down and really think about what this means. Bruno did not simply say Baleba is a good player. He said Baleba has the exact profile for Manchester United. That is a very specific and very strong statement. What does profile mean in football terms? It means the mix of physical ability, mental strength, technical skill, and personality that fits a certain role at a certain club. Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in world football. Playing here requires more than just talent. It requires the mentality to handle pressure, the character to perform in front of a full Old Trafford, and the hunger to fight for trophies every single season. By saying Baleba has the exact profile for this club, Bruno is telling fans something important. This is not just a talented player. This is a player built for Manchester United specifically. He also said Baleba deserves to perform on the biggest stages. Think about what the biggest stages actually means in football. We are talking about Premier League title races, deep runs in the Champions League, huge derby matches, and cup finals in front of millions of fans. Bruno is telling us Baleba is ready for that level right now. Why would Bruno talk about a player publicly like this? Here is a question worth thinking about. Why would a captain speak so openly and so positively about a player who is not even at the club? There are a few possible reasons, and it is worth exploring them together. One reason could simply be honesty. Bruno might genuinely admire Baleba as a footballer and see no reason to hide that opinion when asked. Players often respect other players across the league, and captains are regularly asked their opinions on rivals and talents. Another reason could be that this kind of public praise reflects genuine excitement building around a potential talent that fans have been talking about. When a captain echoes what fans are already saying, it validates the excitement and keeps the conversation alive. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. When Bruno Fernandes speaks this positively about a player, using words like exceptional and deserves to wear the shirt, it is not something fans should ignore. This is captain-level admiration, and it is worth paying close attention to. What do you think about this? Do you believe Carlos Baleba has the profile to succeed at Manchester United? That is a question worth thinking about as this story continues to develop. Now let us talk about the pain of losing. Early after discussing Baleba, Bruno shifted the conversation toward the club's current form. He said something very honest. Losing a match early on always hurts. This is a simple sentence, but it carries real emotional weight. Bruno did not try to downplay the disappointment. He did not pretend that a loss does not matter. He admitted it hurts. That kind of honesty from a captain is valuable, because fans respect leaders who tell the truth rather than hiding behind empty positivity. Every fan reading this knows exactly what that pain feels like. You watch every match with your heart fully invested. When the result does not go your way, especially early in the season when hope and excitement are usually at their highest, it stings even more. But Bruno did not stop at admitting the pain. He followed it with something much more powerful. The belief has not changed. Bruno said clearly, the belief inside this dressing room has not changed one bit. This is one of the most important lines in his entire statement. Why does this matter so much? Because after a difficult result, the biggest danger for any football club is not the scoreline itself. It is the reaction inside the camp. Does confidence drop? Do players start doubting each other? Does the dressing room turn negative? Bruno is telling fans directly, none of that is happening here. The belief remains fully intact. This tells us that whatever disappointment exists after a loss, it has not damaged the spirit or the unity of the squad. He went even further, saying, we know exactly what we are building here. This line suggests something bigger than just one season. It suggests a long-term plan, a clear vision, and a squad that understands the direction the club is heading in, even when results do not go their way in the short term. Think about how important that mindset is. Teams that panic after one bad result often make the situation worse. Teams that stay calm, stay united, and trust the process are usually the ones who bounce back stronger. Bruno's words suggest United fall firmly into that second category, a direct message to the fans. This next part of Bruno's statement is where things get really personal for supporters. He said, I want to tell our fans directly, keep supporting us, because we are going to reward your loyalty. Read that again. This is not a generic public relations quote. This is Bruno speaking directly to the people in the stands, the people watching at home, and the people who have stayed loyal through good times and difficult times. He is asking fans for patience, but he is also making them a promise in return. Loyalty is a word that means a lot in football. Fans do not choose their club based on results. They support through relegation battles, difficult managerial spells, and disappointing transfer windows. Bruno acknowledging that loyalty and promising to reward it shows a level of respect for supporters that fans will absolutely appreciate. Here is a question for you. As a fan, does it mean something to hear your captain speak directly to you like this? Does it make you feel more connected to the team? These are the kinds of moments that build a real bond between players and supporters. The squad has quality, hunger, and character. Bruno continued his statement with a strong claim about the squad itself. He said this squad has the quality, the hunger, and the character to fight for everything. Let us break this down, because each word here matters. Quality speaks to talent. Bruno is telling fans the squad has enough individual ability to compete at the very top. Hunger speaks to motivation. It is one thing to have talented players, but talent alone does not win trophies. Hunger means the players want it badly enough to push through difficult moments, extra training sessions, and mental fatigue. Character speaks to mentality. Character is what shows up when things get difficult. It is the ability to respond to setbacks, to fight back after conceding a goal, and to keep believing even when results are not perfect. By combining these three words, quality, hunger, and character, Bruno is painting a picture of a squad that is not only good enough on paper, but mentally strong enough to fight for everything this season. The bold promise, a year of titles. Now we arrive at the most powerful part of Bruno's entire statement. He said, "I am absolutely confident that this is going to be a year of titles for Manchester United. We will bring silverware back to Old Trafford." Let us sit with this for a moment, because this is a massive statement from a captain. Notice the language here. He did not say he hopes for titles. He did not say maybe we can compete for something. He said he is absolutely confident. That is one of the strongest ways a captain can express belief in his team. He also used the word titles, plural, not just one trophy, but multiple. This suggests genuine ambition inside the camp, a belief that this squad can compete across different competitions, not just settle for one solitary success. And then came the final line, "We will bring silverware back to Old Trafford." Silverware means trophies, the physical proof of success that fans can celebrate together, that gets paraded around the stadium, that becomes part of the club's history. For any United fan, hearing your captain speak with this level of confidence should be exciting. Manchester United is a club built on winning. Trophies are not a bonus here. They are an expectation, a tradition, and a standard that every generation of players is measured against. Why this statement matters so much right now. Let us bring everything together and think about why the timing of this statement matters. Bruno chose to speak this way after an early season loss, a moment when doubt could easily creep in among fans. Instead of hiding, instead of giving a quiet or defensive answer, he chose to be bold. He praised outside talent that could strengthen the squad in the future. He admitted the pain of losing honestly. He reassured fans that belief remains strong. And he made a promise about silverware. This combination tells us something important about the mentality inside the club right now. There is no panic. There is no hiding from difficulty. Instead, there is honesty about pain, followed by strong belief in the plan, followed by a bold promise about the season ahead. What this means for the season ahead. So what should fans actually take from all of this? First, on Carlos Baleba, Bruno's words suggest genuine admiration from within the dressing room for a player many fans have already been excited about. Whether or not this leads to anything concrete in the future, it shows the level of talent being talked about in connection with this club. Second, on the early season loss, Bruno's honesty about the pain, combined with his insistence that belief has not changed, should reassure fans that the dressing room remains united and focused, even after a difficult result. Third, on the promise to fans, Bruno's direct message asking for continued support, paired with his promise to reward loyalty, shows a captain who understands and respects the emotional investment of every single supporter. Fourth, and perhaps most exciting of all, his bold prediction of a year of titles gives fans something to hold on to, a genuine target, spoken with real confidence, not empty words. A question worth asking yourself. Here is something worth thinking about before we continue. When a captain speaks with this much confidence about titles, does it change how you feel about the season ahead? Does it give you more patience after a difficult result? Or do you feel words need to be backed up with results on the pitch before belief fully returns? There is no wrong answer here. Football is emotional, and everyone processes disappointment and hope differently. But conversations like this are exactly why this community exists, to talk through these big topics together as fans. Why trust matters. In football media, we live in a time where football news spreads incredibly fast, sometimes too fast. Rumors get shared as facts, quotes get taken out of context, and half-truths spread across social media within minutes. This is exactly why it is so important to have a trusted source that breaks things down properly, calmly, and honestly. That is the entire purpose behind Carrick United analysis. We are not here to create panic or unnecessary drama. We are here to take statements like Bruno's, break them down piece by piece, and explain exactly what they mean for the club and for you as a fan. No exaggeration, no clickbait, just clear and honest analysis. If that sounds like the kind of football content you want in your life, then you are exactly in the right place, bringing it all together. Let us do a final recap of everything Bruno Fernandes said in this powerful statement. He praised Carlos Baleba as an exceptional player, describing him as strong, intelligent, and composed under pressure, and said he has the exact profile to wear the Manchester United shirt and perform on the biggest stages. He admitted that losing early in the season always hurts, showing honesty rather than hiding behind positivity. He reassured fans that the belief inside the dressing room has not changed and that the squad knows exactly what it is building. He spoke directly to the fans, asking for continued support and promising that loyalty will be rewarded. He described the squad as having the quality, hunger, and character to fight for everything. And finally, he made a bold promise that this will be a year of titles, with silverware coming back to Old Trafford. Final thoughts. This was not a quiet or careful statement. This was a captain speaking with real confidence, real honesty, and real ambition. Whether it was about a talented midfielder outside the club or about the mentality inside the dressing room, Bruno Fernandes made it clear that belief remains strong at Manchester United, even after a disappointing early result. For fans, this is the kind of message worth holding on to. Football will always bring ups and downs, but a captain who speaks this honestly and this boldly gives supporters real reason for hope heading into the rest of the season. Thank you so much for reading and being part of this breakdown. If this update gave you a bit more hope and excitement about the season ahead, share it with a fellow United fan who needs to hear it. And if you want more honest, simple, and trusted breakdowns of everything happening at Manchester United, make sure you are subscribed to Carrick United Analysis, because this is where the real story always comes first. Until next time, keep the faith, stay loyal, and let us go again together. Glory, glory, Man United.